Everyone, Existential Shaman back to make another video about narcissism, narcissistic abuse. I'm getting pretty quick at spotting the behavior patterns, and I feel pretty confident because I've been burned by quite a few narcissists lately, people who were close to me. I am what you call a person getting out of an abusive cycle, and I just got seriously burned by my covert narcissistic ex-girlfriend, who, and even that is not stopping me from there are a few rules with it. You have to have strong boundaries, and you have to be willing to assert those boundaries at any given moment. You may have to lie to make things, and it might make things uncomfortable, but ultimately, if you've detected that someone is acting in a certain way that you know is going to harm you, then you need to use whatever coaxing you need to just get out of it. So, usually you can spot a narcissist with, they will give, at the very beginning, they will give, insanely. They will give insanely at the very beginning. And that is because they're looking for someone who is desperate to receive. That's how they lure in their victims. They give a lot, and then you feel indebted to them. And so it becomes a sort of indirect understanding that you do things for them. But that's a subconscious behavior, means of control if they're a narcissist. Some people are genuinely friendly, so you might meet this person and be like, oh wow, this person's really nice, but thing is, there's normal amounts of giving to someone you kind of know, and then there's way too much generosity, and that's either this person is really nice, or they've got an ulterior motive. Okay, and so if someone's giving to you and you're skeptical, or they don't always give, but oftentimes they do give a lot at the very beginning because they're investing in your consent to this psychological game that they're playing with you. This is happening to me a lot, but I'm able to stop it before it gets really bad at all. So basically, they'll treat you like an equal at first, and they'll keep giving until eventually they kind of get you to act in a way that's not really you, and that disorients you because you were acting differently without knowing what's really going on. And because that disorients you, it puts you are subliminally submitting to them. And this happens in the unconscious if you're aware of it. And when you do that, you're in kind of a trance. They have kind of a hold over you. So you need to be aware of that. And the thing is, a really great way to test. Another thing that narcissists will do is you'll bring up an idea, like something you want to do with them, and then the narcissists are great at saying, oh, look at this little thing, or hey, look at that. They interject with a whole other idea, and they'll keep doing it over and over as you keep asserting your wants and or needs. It doesn't even matter if you need something. They'll bring up another idea. They'll be like, hey, check this out, or let's do this. Or they don't think linear. They do not plan linear, because that means that you have to cooperate with each other. And they do not do that. It simply becomes them taking over the situation, because that's the only kind of relating they can do. They can't do actual relating to other people. They'll say things to you when they know you're vulnerable, when they know you're afraid, when they know you're angry or frustrated at them. That's when they start acting in kind of, that's when they'll start teasing you. If you have, the best thing to do is to plan something with the narcissist, because they do not stick with plans that they come up with or that anyone comes up with. They're not very good at that. I mean, outside of work, I don't even know about inside of work, but if you plan something with them, something that is relevant to a shared interest, because that's, if you're friends with someone, you've got some kind of common interest in mind. So if you plan to do it and you orchestrate all of the steps and they keep interrupting you, you can also then bail out of the situation, come up with a reason to leave, and try to leave, and watch them try to stop you from leaving with kindness at first. But then if you keep asserting yourself, it'll become teasing. If you say, look, I have to go, like, and this is where asserting your boundaries comes into play, because you have to be willing to simply say to their face, like, hey, I have to go, even if you have to lie about it in order to, not rouse the... Because if you're in this situation, if you find yourself in this situation, and you can be this suspicious towards everyone, if they're a good person, they're not going to fail this test that I'm explaining. If they're a good person, they'll just be like, oh, okay, whatever. They won't be so hung up on you wanting to do what you want to do, or you leaving, or you expressing yourself, or your ideas. Because, leaving, if someone really loves you, they can let you go for a minute, If someone's controlling you, they don't want you to leave. That's a great way to, all of this is seriously a great way to spot behavior patterns very quickly. And if someone is like kind of passive aggressively teasing you when you do assert yourself, especially when, and the worst part is like, they will know that you're in pain, and somehow they manage. You could have told them you just lost everything, right? And they'll seem to side with you in that moment during the conversation, but then later on, it's like your whole situation that you just explained to them, that's very intense and drastic, and you obviously need reassurance and comfort. Well, 5 minutes later, that whole thing about how you feel is out the window. It's gone to whatever the fuck they want, and they do not care about how you feel. And you have to be aware of that and realize that these people aren't your friend if they act this way, and that you need to leave. So I hope this video helps you spot this shit, because it's pretty bad how I'm running into this behavior pattern over and over again. Again, like, this is what I kind of do, and this time, like, this happened with a coworker today. These patterns, I noticed it, and I kind of saw parallels with other narcissists that I had known, and I was like, yeah, and it's pretty, thick as far as people goes, but at the same time, I think for me, I need to try and, gravitate towards people who aren't like that. Learn to read the whole group, read everyone in the group, and just stay away from the narcissist. Yeah. So anyways, I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.